Good morning. I wanted to give you a little sneak peek of the penitential prayers that Sephardim have started and Ashkenazi will start in a couple of weeks. These are known as Selichot. The word does have an E in it, such as you might think it is pronounced Selichot, but the E is actually kind of a hyphen almost in this case, and so it is actually pronounced Selichot, and it can be pronounced Shlikos, and that's more in the Ashkenazi version. Either one is appropriate. We're going to be using the Authorized Hebrew and English edition for the whole year, translated and annotated by Rabbi Abraham Rosenfield. And this appears to be the early Reform in Great Britain's version of the penitential prayers. The prayers are quite beautiful. They are somewhat long at times, but they're really beautiful to say and moving to say. The term shlikah, plural shlikot, means literally forgiveness, and thus is applied to prayers for forgiveness. It is used to describe penitential prayers, which are generally not an integral part of the service, but are recited on certain solemn days of the Jewish calendar. The Shlikot in this volume are those recited on the days preceding Rosh Hashanah, and on the days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and on certain fast days. Special Shlikot recited on Yom Kippur appear in the prayer book for that service and are not included in this selection. The regular prayer book, indeed the prayer book that we are studying, does have, as we've talked about previously in the morning service, does have a section of this as well for confession and seeking forgiveness. There are several other good parts of the introduction, but I want to try to get into the actual service. Shlikot are meant to be said standing up if you are able, certainly with your head covered, and there are no rules specifically against shuckling, etc. And since they are relatively long, sometimes that may be helpful to keep your legs awake, etc. Before I start, I did put previously a Shlikot down below in, I want to say a year or so ago, from the Reform prayer book called Mishkan Halev, or Tabernacle of the Heart. This is their current version, and I very much enjoyed davening with a local Reform congregation a number of years ago and saying all of these. But this one that I read and put down below is really good, and I hope you'll take a moment to listen to that as well. Shlikot for the first day. Happy are they that dwell in thy house. They will continually praise thee for time everlasting. Happy is the people that is thus favored. Happy is the people whose God is the Lord. Psalm 145, a psalm of praise by David. I will extol thee, my God, the King, and bless thy name forever and forever. Every day I will bless thee and praise thy name forever and ever. Great is the Lord, and exceedingly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation to another shall praise thy works, and shall declare thy mighty acts. Of the glorious splendor of thy majesty and of thy wondrous works I will meditate, and then shall declare the might of thy awe-inspiring deeds, and I will recount thy greatness. They shall pour forth the fame of thy abundant goodness, and shall sing of thy righteousness. The Lord is gracious and merciful, slow to anger and great in kindness. The Lord is good to all, and his mercies are over all of his works. All thy works shall give thee thanks, O Lord, and thy pious ones shall bless thee. They shall speak of thy glorious kingdom and talk of thy might, to make known to the sons of man thy mighty acts and the glorious splendor of thy kingdom. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endures throughout all generations. The Lord upholds all who fall and raises up all who are bowed down. The eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their food in its season. Thou openest thy hand, and satisfiest the need of every living thing. With favor, the Lord is righteous in all his ways, and pious in all his works. The Lord is near to all who call upon him, to all who call upon him in truth. He will fulfill the desires of them that revere him. He will hear their cry, and he will save them. The Lord guards all who love him, and he will destroy the wicked. My mouth will speak the praise of the Lord forever, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever and forever. And as for us, we will bless the Lord henceforth and forevermore. So it continues on in the same motif. It starts off with prayer, with praise, then moves on to petition, and then moves on to thanksgiving. As I said, these are said standing. There are some parts that you're not supposed to say without a minion, although I think in this day and age, I think we can pretty much assume that there's a minion going on pretty much 24 hours a day. I'll leave that to you and your Rav and your own belief to deal with. The 13 attributes of mercy are a really, really moving and just go over the attributes of God and basically teach us, since we're to be holy as he is holy, what things we're to be kind and merciful, etc. So it's very, very interesting. It's a wonderful time to call upon God because the King is in the field, and we don't have to, there's not as many barriers, perhaps, shall I say, to meeting with the King and asking for forgiveness and moving forward for a good and happy new year. I'll probably do a little bit more of this. It's a little bit early. That's about the best I can do for today, and I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Thanks and shalom.